Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. Morons with guns. Yep, let's talk about that. Today's episode is brought to you by ShallNotComply.com, apparel for patriots, by patriots, a huge selection, and launching today is the brand new From My Cold Dead Hands. Got all the sizes in stock, including big boy sizes. I'm going to put a link right down below over to ShallNotComply.com. Hey, it's been a little bit. I've been out in Oregon having fun at Thunder Ranch. Did some training with Clint and Heidi Smith. Had an absolute ball. I'm going to talk about that in a few more days. I've got some footage for you, and it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about that. But I've been gone. I have been interacting with y'all on Instagram. That's been a lot of fun. But I want to walk through what has happened in St. Louis. It's kind of taken over the entire freedom industry all day today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it. I'm going to make some comments about it. And then at the end, I've got a question. I think it's an important question for all of y'all. Now, I was going to say, hey, if you didn't see what's going on, I was going to get you up to date. But I think everybody at this point has seen it. A group of, now already, as soon as you start talking about it, we're going to get into semantics or euphemisms or dysphemisms, how you word things or verbiage things real good. How you talk about things absolutely matters. If you have fighters trying to overthrow their government up in the mountains of Guatemala, do we call them freedom fighters or do we call them terrorists? Now, immediately, I wanted to say we have a group of rioters marching through a private neighborhood in St. Louis. Or you might open with, we have a group of protesters. How we word things matters. Go through on this one the main headlines in the mainstream media and just read just the headlines. The AP story on this one opened with, yep, they opened with skin color. The first thing they said is a white couple. The first three words were a white couple. Immediately going to identity politics. We've all seen it at this point, but there was a large group, regardless of what you call them, cruising through a private neighborhood in St. Louis. A couple stood out on their front property and said, not happening, move along. And people have lost their ever bleeping minds. Even I opened with morons with guns. Yeah, these are morons on some level. Now, over the last several weeks, oh, this is so good, this is important. I've been talking a lot to y'all about having things be okay to exist together. It's okay in a lot of ways to have this and this existing in the same universe. At this point, a lot of folks are saying either the couple were amazing and they stood their ground. The new boogaloo is pink polos. And other folks were saying, hey, you know what, it's just protesters marching down the street. They don't need to have a you-know-what pointed at them. I'm going to say both are okay to say, hey, it's a whole lot of morons because you have people that broke into a private neighborhood. This is not a public street. These are not public sidewalks. They tore down a gate or bent a gate in half. It is private property, private residence, private street, and private sidewalk. These, on some level, maybe not all of them, but probably a lot of them, were morons. And then you have the homeowners, the McCloskeys. They're both attorneys. And we have witnessed maybe some of the worst firearms handling in the absolute universe. I think they broke every single rule all at one time. Complete morons. People that probably should not own guns or maybe at least should have a lot of training. They have the right to own them, of course, but probably need some training. So you have this incident that took place and people are losing their minds over it. Now, in the St. Louis Dispatch today, this is mainstream St. Louis media, St. Louis Dispatch said the crowd was 500 strong. They also said that they were, and this is the mainstream media. Now, if the mainstream media can twist this thing to make these folks look bad, they will. They said, the mainstream media said that the couple were verbally threatened, that their lives were threatened. Now, the police have now said, because immediately, even this morning, first thing, there was some of the St. Louis news organizations said, well, it remains to be seen if they committed a crime, that being the couple. Did they commit a crime? Well, yeah, already the police have said that there were two things by the mob: trespassing and assault by intimidation. That's what the police said already today. We have that out. Now, at this point, I do want to say this. If you're seeing this 3 months from now, yeah, you're going to have more information than we have 24 hours after the incident. This is happening and unfolding in real time. Couple things. I already mentioned that it's a private street. I did mention that the gates were torn down. And I do want to mention, I haven't mentioned this yet, castle doctrine, I believe, is in existence in Missouri. So there is a castle doctrine. It does matter. Bad stuff going on one hand, but you got maybe, again, the worst handling of firearms I've ever seen in the history of humanity. It's bad. They flag each other, fingers on the trigger, all sorts of bad stuff, and none of it is good. However, 0 were the number of looters that got into that house. And I think that is significant. You can say whatever you want about their trigger discipline. I think it was pretty much bad. But they did stop people, and those folks just kept on walking by. Maybe they would have gone in. Maybe they wouldn't have. We don't know. But those folks lived to fight another day, and they're still around. Also, did you see this house? This house is absolutely incredible, but why do you have a Jimenez being owned by an owner of that house? That is absolutely incredible. I think that's a Jimenez. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but they have a Jimenez now. Now, Dunning-Kruger is already in effect. If you don't know the Dunning-Kruger, the less you know about something, anything, any particular area, the less you know, the higher your confidence in that you know all sorts of stuff, and you'll hold to that ignorance. Like, we really think we know a ton. Like, you have one drum lesson and you're like, heck yeah, I know lots about the drums. But then 7 years later you find out, yeah, the more I learn, the more I know that I don't know anything. What does that have to do with anything? All day today it's been more morons on the internet and down even in the comment section saying, oh, I hate this phrase, get your bugger hook off the bang switch. Just stop saying that. I'm tired of talking about this woman's trigger discipline. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yes, take a look at this. Her trigger discipline is awful. Yes, we all agree. But you've got these couch commandos and armchair warriors, and that's all they're going on and on about. People are so upset. Move beyond. And here's to get into the heart of what I want to talk about. What about the big picture? We've got all sorts of big picture issues going on. Why do we own these tools? Why do we own firearms? Why? What about castle doctrine? What about how the media will spin this? We now have a face, people that we can look at and say, okay, here is some poor firearms owners. I mean, these people do not make us look good at all. And so we now have the opportunity to watch how people twist this and spin this. Look at the bigger picture over and over. Finally, I want to say this. What about you? We want to talk about this lady looking like a moron. It's kind of embarrassing. She's pointing at people. She's looking away while she's pointing it. She's unsure of her target. She's carrying a Jimenez. I mean, it's all absolutely ridiculous. But what about you and what about me? We love to say that she needs training. What about you? Have you been trained? Now, it's really easy for me 3 days after I come home from Thunder Ranch saying, you need training. I need more. It's one thing that I learned at Thunder Ranch. I need a lot more. I mean, a lot more. I'm already looking at some more classes. I'm looking at things. And I don't mean like going down and watch somebody who's had a 3-week NRA course. I'm talking about legit firearms training. And want to ask you the same question. What about you? Where are you at with yours? I don't mean do you watch a lot of YouTube videos, but are you ready for situations like that? And I think it's a good moment to stop and look at people that have no clue what they're doing and turn that finger back at ourselves and say, hey, what about me? I need more. Because I do. I need more. What about you? Leave me a comment right down below. Would love to hear what you have to say about that. Here it is. Y'all were excited about this the last time I showed it. This is a good one. Same as this one right here. Same as this shirt from my cold, dead hands. Bye.